Hello, this is Evangelist Dr. Robert L. McKim Sr. from Carrollton, Ohio. There's been a lot going on in the news yesterday and today. Yesterday there was a man with a gun at the Capitol Visitor Center. Well, I'm just going to play the news clip here about what they said about the guy. Fox 8 News. Let me zoom in here.
Information out of Washington, D.C. this morning. U.S. Capitol Police say that man who pulled a gun at the Capitol, he's in critical but stable condition this morning.
Yeah, the Tennessee preacher is charged with assault with a deadly weapon and assault on a police officer while armed. Now, this morning, we're learning a lot about his big plans to get to Washington. Jessica Dale joins us live with what we know so far. Jess?
Hi, Christy. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. This man had a history. You can tell he also had an agenda. 66-year-old Larry Dawson was actually arrested last October after an outburst inside the chamber of the House of Representatives. His plans weren't over. A video on Dawson's church website asked for donations to fund a trip to Washington. According to his fundraising page, he took at least 4 such trips in 2015, advocating for a higher minimum wage. Last October, he made himself known, accused of assaulting a police officer after yelling, "I am a prophet from God," and disrupting congressional business. Now Dawson is accused of taking it to another extreme. Police say he entered the Capitol Visitor Center and set off the metal detector. That's when they say he pulled out what looked like a weapon and pointed it at an officer before he was shot. The entire area thrown into lockdown.
Going through the Visitor Center security, and as I walked through, we heard, get out, there's an active shooter.
All of a sudden, the police came running through the hallway saying, "Go, go, go, follow us, follow us."
All right, something about Dawson. Back in 2003, he was actually accused of harassing a teenage girl while working as a bus driver in Nashville. Police say Dawson wrote a letter to a young girl saying God had told him to have sexual relations with her. At the time, though, prosecutors said Dawson was unfit to stand trial. And I think we're going to keep digging into his past here to find out more about him.
And there's so many strange things that keep coming out, too.
Absolutely. Yeah, every half hour, I swear there's something else that's coming out on a lot of these reports on Twitter. So we'll keep you updated.
Plenty of time to find more. All right, thank you.
Long story short, people, he was not a prophet. He shouldn't even been a pastor of a church. He had basically totally lost his mind. Probably been taken over by a demon. Because let me tell you something, in Isaiah 52, verse 8, and this is what I am, and this is what I am doing. Your watchmen shall lift up their voices. With their voices they shall sing together. For they shall see eye to eye when the Lord brings back Zion. Or in more modern English, the watchmen shout and sing with joy. For before their very eyes, they see the Lord returning to Jerusalem. I'm a watchman on the wall, sounding the trumpet, and shouting and singing with joy, because Jesus is coming back. Mark my words, Jesus is coming back. Because Jesus said in Matthew 24 that he will return in the clouds together and send out his angels together. The dead in Christ will rise first, and those who are left alive will be caught up with them. But before that, Jesus said in verse 9, Matthew 24, verse 9, Then they will deliver you up to tribulation and kill you, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. And then many will be offended, will betray one another, and will hate one another. For many false prophets will rise up and deceive many. And because lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold. But he who endures to the end shall be saved. That's Matthew 24. And then there's Mark 21. Also with verse 9. But watch out for yourselves, for they will deliver you up to council, and you will be beaten in the synagogues. You will be brought before rulers and kings for my name's sake, for a testimony to them. And let's see if I have some time here to do a little bit more. Luke 21 says, Luke 21 says, let's see, where is it here? Starting with 12. But before all these things, they will lay their hands upon you and persecute you, deliver you up to the synagogues and prisons. You will be brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. Let's see here. Oops, I didn't. Hang on a minute. Let's see here. John 14. John 14, everybody knows. John 14:6, Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Ephesians 6 talks about putting on the whole armor of God, which is what I am doing. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities or principles, other people's principles, against their powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. That is why we're supposed to put on the full armor of God, because there will be people coming against us in the last days. Just like this I am dead zombie person on my YouTube channel wants to sue me for defamation of character. How can you have a character when you're dead? Answer that question. You don't have any character when you're dead. Preach the word. Be ready in season, out of season. Convince, rebuke, exhort. Exhort with all long suffering and teaching. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but according to their own desires, because they have itching ears, they will heap up themselves teachers, and they will turn their ears away from the truth and turn aside to fables. But you be watchful in all things, endure afflictions, do the work of an evangelist, fulfill your ministry. And that is what I'm doing. I'm fulfilling my ministry. I'm fulfilling my calling as a true prophet of Jesus Christ. 2 Timothy 3 says, and we are living in the last days because this is what is going on right now. But know this, that in the last days perilous times will come, for many will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, unloving, unforgiving, slanderers, without self-control, brutal, blasphemers of good, brutal, despisers of good, traitors, headstrong, hardy, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power, and from such people turn away. In other words, turn away from them and have nothing to do with them. That's why, if I could, I would unfriend that person, or take them off of my YouTube channel. I'm trying to find out how I can put them on the list, but I don't know, for some reason it's not working out for the way it should. 2 Thessalonians 2 says, let no one deceive you by any means, for that day will not come unless, 1, there is a falling away first, and the man of sin is revealed, the son of perdition, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he sits as God in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. There has to be a falling away, and there is a falling away of the faith, Christian faith, as I speak. There are more and more people that are going to these other preachers that are teaching them everything's good, everything's fine, nothing bad's going to happen, there's no devil, there's no demons and all that stuff, You can't have God being a jealous God without anger. You cannot have the Garden of Eden without having Satan. And Satan's in the world, and his demons is in the world. In 2 Peter 3, knowing this first, that scoffers will come in the last days, walking according to their own lusts, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, or had passed away, died, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. And that is what people are saying to me. Where is your Jesus? Where is your Jesus? I don't see him yet. Well, that's a problem. It's not time. But it's getting close. Because he's letting you do this to people like us. To show other people out there that he is coming back. And he is real. I saw him in a near-death experience. And I'm in good company because there's other people that had near-death experiences as well. Alright, unless we all drank the same Kool-Aid. and had the same mass hallucination. Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. No one goes to the Father but by and only through Him. God bless you. Have a blessed day.